What up peeps, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll show you how I remixed Clo Sur's While You Think Over It. Alright, so before we begin, I want to give a huge shout out to Clo Sur, who provided the vocals for this one. You can actually go ahead and download the stems and the vocals for yourself on his website for free, actually. I'll leave a link for it in the description of this video. So today I'm going to look at a few different elements of this track, and I think that we're going to start with the vocals.
Maybe it's not the wind throwing you off your feet again. Could it be that the odds have your call? Fortune is constant, but your side tends to sway.
And so just quickly, I'm going to show you what kind of effects I have on the vocal chain. This is just a raw vocal.
Be that the odds have your confidence wavering. Future is calling constant, but your future.
So really nice vocals here, and I've got a lot of quality to work with. So the first thing that I did was just to add some pitch correction. I'm using M-Auto Pitch, which I have already made a video about, which actually a lot of you guys have actually watched. I will leave it in the card right now, so you can go ahead and watch it. I'm just putting everything into key with max depth and just a little bit of speed to not make it too obvious, though I have turned it up so much that you can actually hear it. It just gave an effect that I actually pretty liked. So it sounds like this.
Maybe it's not the wind throwing you off your feet again. Could it be that the odds have your confidence wavering? Future is calling.
After that, I just quickly put on an equalizer just to kind of remove some of the lows and just boost some of the highs to give it some character. Next up, just a pretty basic compressor just to take some of the dynamics, because this is a really dynamic vocal. Here he's singing pretty loudly,
Future is calling.
but in the verse he's very quiet.
Maybe it's not the wind throwing you off your feet again.
So I'm just using the compressor to remove some of that dynamic range. Next, I just have a pretty basic de-esser just to kind of smooth everything out so these S's won't be that hard for your ears to listen to. And lastly, I just have Supermassive just for some nice reverb.
Maybe it's not the wind throwing you off your feet again. The future is calling. You don't have to feel brave.
So the next thing I want to show you is actually a big part of the vocals and also a big part of the track too. And this is this vocoder right here. So the vocoder itself sounds like this. Doesn't sound like much on its own, but with the vocals,
the future is calling. You don't have to feel brave.
Now I won't go into too much detail with this one, but I could make a tutorial in the future. I actually might do that. So stay tuned for that. Leave a like. Subscribe now. Anyway, some of the effects I have on the vocoder, I actually have quite a lot here. I forgot. Let's turn all of them off.
The future is calling.
Oh yeah, I turned Vocoder off. Okay, well, never mind. So since I'm actually feeding the raw vocal into the channel, the first thing I'll be doing is just putting everything into key, and I'm doing this pretty heavily, but it doesn't really matter as it's a vocoder and it's supposed to sound kind of robotic and stuff. And then comes the most important part of this vocoder. Vocodex, of course.
The future is calling. You don't have to feel brave.
Then I just have some other effects just to give some stereo width here.
The future is calling.
To just widen that out. Since my vocal is my main vocal is pretty much in the middle, so I'm just kind of pushing the vocoder out to the sides just to give some more space. Then I have just a normal de-esser because the vocoder was really harsh in those frequencies, so I just had to remove that. Then I have more of a traditional equalizer.
The future is calling.
To make it sit better in the mix. Then I have some reverb, some more reverb I guess, and some more equalization too.
The future is calling.
Again, I just heard some frequencies that I didn't like there, so I just put this on to remove them. Well, anyway, let's have a look at some of my instruments and my synthesizers. So the opening strings, I guess, here. I just kind of used I think I used a preset from Citrus, and I just put a few plugins on there, some stereo enhancer, sound goodizer, kickstart, and supermassive. Good plugins and sounds good, I think. Now, the most important strings of this might be this one. If you guys saw my recording tutorial, this is actually the same preset. So I'm using laps, some kind of strings, and some kind of strings. No, this is piano actually, and some kind of strings. And I'm just kind of splitting it up. So these ones are more for the higher frequencies, and this one is for the lower frequencies. I'm also widening this one too. And it gives a really nice sound actually, I think. So as we get closer to the, I guess it's kind of a build-up breakdown, kinda. I'm just kind of changing up the pattern, going a bit higher as the vocal also gets I guess sharper, you know, brighter tones. What do I say? Higher notes. Together with the vocals, they sound like this.
Say it is. The future is calling. You don't have to feel brave.
Now I must say my computer is kind of struggling with this project. So bear with it. It's doing its best, trust me. I mean, I do have a lot of plugins on this one, man, so Now actually working pretty close together with my strings, I have my bass here. Let me just isolate the bass and let's have a look, and then we'll put it together with the strings. So I have this really like deep crunchy bass kinda. So the main sound that you hear, like the highs, is just a yes, a preset. Who the hell has time for this stuff? In voltage modular, which is actually pretty awesome, guys. You should check this out, man. That's for the like the crunchy sound, and I've used Helm for some sub bass, I believe. I don't know what I did. As you can see, some TDR Nova, some sound goodizer. I'm using Pancake just to give us some more interest, some stereo width also. Again, some TDR Nova and the Ozone Imager for the sub bass. Beyond that, I'm just using a few different, what is this, volume and some filter for the automations. For this bass line, I was kind of inspired by 2 Feet. If you guys have ever heard his bass lines, I think they're the greatest. So I used this kind of automation to have that rise, just a hit, and then kind of go down low and then rise again. I just really liked, and it fit the track really well, I feel like. So yeah, there is not much to this bass line actually, but it just fits the strings really well. Yeah, well, already my PC's kind of struggling. For the melodics, for like the, I guess you could say the drop, I'm using the intro kind of string again. Just really simple. I really like how this sounded. Just the strings kind of building up, getting higher and higher in sound and more powerful with more and more notes. It makes everything sound so huge and powerful, almost majestic, which is a sound that I really do enjoy. So yeah, I put that in there. I really liked it. So apart from that, I just have kind of the drums left, I guess. So the drums is actually a loop that I made some time ago when I was trying to remake a song called No Gravity. And just a raw one just sounds like this. Like literally, that's it. That's it. That is it. What did I put on here? I put, yes, I put in equalizer on there, some sharpening, some imaging. What is that? That is reverb and patcher. Jeez, I put a lot of stuff on this one. Let's just see what I'm doing here. So I'm splitting it up. The highs are going through some stereo widening. Then spicing it up with some saturation through sound equalizer, sharpening it up, I guess. No, I'm actually losing it to make it more the same kind of, make it more smooth, I guess, and imaging it out again. The bass though, I have isolated here, which is going down through this one to sharpen it, to make it punch through in the mix. I'm also putting a compressor on there to make a bit of distortion, I guess. I don't know why. And I'm also limiting it just to make everything not blow up. Let's see if my PC can handle everything at once. It's not doing that good of a job though. So I had to render this actually a lot of times to hear what I was doing. Anyway, besides that, I'm actually using a lot fewer effects than I usually do, just because this has a more acoustic vibe to it. I feel like a lot of effects and stuff wouldn't feel at home, I guess. I have this one. This is from Aiden actually. I mean, simple as that, not much. So, but anyways, guys, I'm actually getting really hot here and my PC is dying. So I gotta end this one here. This was just a brief look into my remix of Clo Sur's While You Think It Over. If you guys haven't heard it yet, I'll leave it in the description and it will also be on the end screen so that you guys can go ahead and listen to it. Well, anyways, if you found it helpful or enjoyable, leave a like, and if not, well, the other button seems to work just fine as well. Leave a comment what you guys want to see. And yeah, I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Stay lit, folks.